Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us here today. Thanks for registering your interest. And obviously, we are part of the Murdoch Business Alumni Network. Obviously, we've done some of these before, and we're up to our third session right now. We've obviously created this series to focus on what really works when building a business. Practical tools, honest insights, and advice that you can put into action straight away. Today's session is all about tech for entrepreneurs. The tools, platforms, technologies that you can use to streamline your operations, boost efficiency, reduce costs, and scale with confidence. Before we do get into the nitty-gritty, though, I just wanted to mention that today's session is being recorded for your convenience, and you will get a link that you can watch it back later and reference later. As a bonus, you're also going to be getting a 5-page downloadable like AI prompts, a guide which you can view after the session. And that's obviously packed with prompts to help you teach AI your voice, build your business plan, create digital content, and spark new ideas. I am very excited to introduce our guest speaker, Pavlo Dovgay. Hello, Pavlo. How are you?
Hi, Chris. Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Greetings, everyone from the East Coast.
Yep. So for you guys that do or don't know, Pavlo is obviously the Murdoch University Alumni Business Network lead. So I have worked very closely with Pavlo, I would say over the last year or so, actually. And I was saying just to Sam before, we've obviously seen each other in person a lot of times, but I don't actually know a lot about you. But just a bit of a background here. So also a technical product manager with over 20 years of global ICT experience. You have a unique blend of business and tech know-how, and we'll be sharing how to choose and implement the right tech to support business growth, whether you're just starting out or ready to level up. But I guess just all that aside, tell us a little bit about yourself, Pablo.
Hi, everyone. I'm extremely excited and delighted to be here with everyone today. It's a big honor and a privilege. I have a technical background. For the most of my career, almost 20 years, I've been working in the information technology for healthcare for the global company. That's how I came to Australia in 2019. We helped replace software for the Royal Perth Hospital Pathways. For those who live in Perth, may know the location. After that, I did 2 years master degree at Murdoch University, which was one of the best decisions in my life. That was a double major, Master of Information Technology in Data Science and Artificial Intelligence, and Master of Business Administration. Probably the only that kind of double major degree in Australia that I was looking at back then. And this is how I actually transitioned from the IT for healthcare into the IT for finance. And later on, I joined as an employee one small fintech startup from Sydney, which is Flash Payments, a payments technology provider. This is where I work now as a technical product manager. And because it's a small company, you have to look after different kind of things.
Yeah.
So definitely entrepreneurial mindset and the business knowledge that I got from the Murdoch time helped me sort of transition into the new role successfully, and also the technical knowledge and the data science and artificial intelligence highlights, which I learned in 2022, were very helpful by the time, because I graduated in August, and then the ChatGPT 3.3 was released, I think, October that year. And it was such a breakthrough, and I was probably one of the few who said, like, okay, I know exactly how this works. I know exactly what's behind. And this is what we should probably do now, obviously in collaboration with the team. So I'm, at the same time, I still consider myself like an enthusiast, maybe not that savvy practitioner. So I'm looking forward to some feedback, in particular from Chris, because of his business knowledge and understanding of how business works. So I'm looking into this session as a two-way street. Hopefully share some useful insights. Thank you.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think that's spot on. And I think the way we do it today as well is obviously with all your tech geniusery, we have to try and almost get that across in a way that's easy for everyone to understand. And the good thing is that like I can even ask you as if I'm everyone else in the call, because there's going to be a lot of things that I don't understand myself. And as you said, two-way street, I'll be asking questions essentially to almost dumb it down and say it in ways that we can all understand. Before we do get into the questions, guys, so I can see now we have about almost 90 people in the call. Just wanted to quickly engage in the chat and just post a comment of the location of where you're currently joining us from, because I guess the Murdoch University Business Alumni Network, we are doing some pretty cool things at the moment. Most of you guys in the call are Murdoch alums, and I guess we as a group, we're about, what are we, about 7 or 8 strong, Sam? There's about 7 or 8 of us, and we're trying to grow the thing even more. So if you're excited by what we're doing, if you're a Murdoch alum, even if you are, as you can see, we're doing this call globally. If you want to be a part of the network, please hit us up. We're doing some really cool things. And there's an awesome blend between, the things you do in your day-to-day job and being a Murdoch alum. And one of the things I've been saying recently is like, even my day job doing, digital marketing and all things marketing here at Dale Digital, like there's kind of a blend between the two. And I think the biggest thing is just getting us all together in the same room. All of us alums are very passionate. We all want to help each other out. But, we need more voices and we need more people. So please hit us up if you're keen. And yeah, thank you everyone for today. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Pavlo. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you for everyone organizing it. And thanks to Dilate Digital. We're currently, I'm in the studio of Dilate Digital, currently making this all happen. But there's a lot of planning that goes into it all. So, all right, let's get started now that all that's out the way. So I guess, Pavlo, the big picture, right? So where do you recommend that entrepreneurs begin when they're thinking about which tech tools they really need? And yeah, please keep it, I guess, as basic and simple as you can.
All right. So basically, there are different approaches to this, as always. Probably the simplest one would be, and the easiest one would be, just to pay attention to something that you already have, because many tools these days actually have built-in AI capabilities or AI add-ons or plugins, whatever. Things Microsoft Office, all good MS Office. With the MS Copilot, they have now new capabilities. Think Google Workspace, powered by Google Gemini, Slack AI, some other tools for coding assistants like WebStorm, Juni AI plugin, or Cursor, or others. So basically, if you are doing something already, you may want to consider, is there any AI plugin along the way? And if what you have is not enough, or if you're looking for something you have never done before, then maybe it's a good idea to start from the precise use case that you have in mind, and how exactly you want the AI tool to help you and the team. And this is, I believe, exactly something what Chris and I hope to address today, and maybe shed some light on the existing and emerging AI tools and capabilities and how they can help the new companies at the early stages. At the same time, since that's a big picture, I sort of want to take 1 or maybe 2-3 minutes of your time to try to suggest the view on the LLMs as of the position that they have now. So basically, we don't need to explain what LLMs are, but they are somehow many things at the same time. So I hope that if we establish that this sort of high-level, big-picture view on them, it's going to be much easier for us then to move forward. So first of all, LLMs are software. So basically, when you are talking to ChatGPT or I don't know, prompting any other LLM, you are basically doing software programming. So congratulations, everyone is a software programmer now.
Nice.
But previously, yeah, exactly.
I'll add that to my LinkedIn.
Perfect. Previously, good on you. Previously, you had to know computer science, data science, programming languages, Python to actually do the coding. Now, basically, think of English as a universal programming language. So I think that's that's a very important concept. Like whenever you talk to LLM, that's programming. So that's the case. Now, at the same time, like being software, those LLMs, especially those foundational, like large players, LLM, like Gemini, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude, and others, like these big players, they have very strong analogies to the complicated operating system as we know them, like Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Android, Linux, etc. So, like, what does it mean? So, this means that when you are dealing with the LLM, you are not only sort of working with specific piece of software, but you think of it as a whole ecosystem. So all the tools and some specific use cases that are built upon the certain LLM, all they form this ecosystem built specific to this LLM. So this is think of this like you have Apple, like many Apple devices at home, right?
Yes.
So all of a sudden they are all intertwined, they are all interconnected, they are all part of the ecosystem.
Ecosystem, yeah.
So that's the second thing. Then the third thing, which is
sorry, just building off that ecosystem thing, is it then good if someone is just part of one ecosystem for, I guess, storage of all things them? Like, is it good to be part of one ecosystem to have everything all in one spot?
That's a very good question. So the quick answer to that is yes and no, depends on your use case. However, if you go on the upper level, so when you talk to an LLM using a simple prompt, this is like using a terminal to talk to the operating system. It's not very efficient. We usually use graphical user interface, right? Or even different interfaces. So think of the AI tools, which like we have plenty of them. We will definitely mention some of them, like Perplexity, Canva, some others.
Yes.
Definitely. So those tools are basically providing a user interface to LLMs, so that you wouldn't need to prompt, but you just communicate with the tool in natural language, even, or into some certain extent to some more usable way. However, behind that tool, there is actually an orchestration of LLMs. So sophisticated tools like, let's say, Cursor for coding assistant, like computer programmers with some previous experience know what I'm talking about, probably. So they have multiple LLMs behind it, and it's actually even not. So sometimes you can think like, okay, I'm going to use one of those, or it's just that the tool decides which best for you. So the answer to your question, Chris, would be that most of the time there is an orchestration of LLMs behind it. However, you have to pay for it, definitely. So sometimes it's more expensive. You have different level of subscription. Something which is basic is not available in Pro and stuff like that.
No, that's understood. Okay. Well, I mean, I just your notion then of kind of taking it back a step. I know with the work we do here at Dilate, one of the big things that's really important, and again, going back a step, is just the data input and the data entry, and I guess the data that you have on hand to be able to train the thing, right? So, I think one of the things I'm telling business owners at the moment is that the most important thing that you have is actually your data, and the stuff you've been using and your process maps that kind of are, this is my business, this is what I do. Because essentially, if you're trying to get AI to do something for you, it needs to know how you work, and you need to really input what you want and give it as much info as possible. So I guess, like, how important is data entry and data integrity in that process in getting what you want as an output?
Like, I couldn't agree more. Like a car runs on petrol, so the AI runs on data. So you have to have some data strategy as a company to be able to capitalize on this and bring the context which is specific to your business and receive quality results from the use of AI. Definitely.
Also, would you say there's like some, from what you've seen in the work you do, is there some do's and don'ts of that process? Of just data entry, integrity? Like, is there some businesses that are doing this that's wrong, some that are doing this that's right?
Well, in my opinion, and this is like one of the message, like one of the important outcomes I would like to put for everyone. Like, when it really comes to something serious and scaling and strategy, it's all about partnership. So it's hard, like it's highly unlikely that you will be training your large language model because it requires multiple resources. So it's more about partnering with some of the large players or some other companies which will help you. And at this stage, it's like a profit and loss decision when you need to consider pros and cons, and to have some like advice how to keep your data first secure, because that's the level 0. And this is all about being safe, secure, and trustworthy. We can get back to this trust question, which is also important. But I couldn't emphasize more the power of the partnership. So dealing with proper partners is very important. I'm not saying someone has to do this for you. If you have a skilled team, or even if you have like a new team, you can still go and do things like do-it-yourself mode with one of the trustworthy partners, like, I don't know, AWS Cloud or Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, depends on the technology that you have in mind and the skill set that you have. But it's really important at this point, because it's always a cloud. It has to be stored somewhere. There has to be compute. Like, we are talking about cloud computing.
Yeah, and secure as well.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, look, there's so many tools out there, and you kind of touched on briefly, just looking in your own backyard for what you use already and looking at what they have that's, AI capable to just make your life easier. But, what's your process specifically for deciding what will actually work for your needs and what is worth the investment? And I think if you can answer that, not from the perspective of Pavlo, but say if you just put your shoes as anyone in this call who's an entrepreneur starting their business, or they're, a couple of years in their journey, what's their process for deciding what will work for them and if it's worth their investment?
Well, that's like a very good question. So obviously that depends on your domain. At the same time, there has to be some framework selected for a company of like how to proceed. So there has to be some kind of strategy, and it's like hard to say specifically, like, do the pros and cons analysis, like understand the cost, understand what's behind. It's more like, in my opinion, it's more about setting, first of all, setting like the general direction and pace for the AI adoption. So you need to understand what's the priority. Is this the speed of adoption or is this the specific results that you need to achieve? What's the priority? Is it like quick revenue? Is it sort of high values? What kind of opportunities you are looking to pursue? Sometimes it's best to capture the market first, and then maybe have some losses on the balance sheet. Sometimes it's best to be sort of debt-free, and not sacrifice the equity for the purpose of the future growth. So this is, I think, the first idea, like to set the direction and the pace. So how do you adopt and in which direction? Then, then the second thing, which important thing, because it's at the end of the day, it's all about people. Everything we talk now is augmenting human capabilities, is pretty much helping the founders or the small teams or larger teams to do their best. So there has to be as a part of the framework, you have to reinforce this complementary relationship, so-called, if I may say that, with AI. So some work automation. Let's say when it comes to innovation, this is like automation, low value routine operations. So there will be like a substitute for human skill at some point. However, it's all complementary. So you see this capabilities as adding value to what people can do, some superhuman abilities, if you want. At the same time, you have to be very careful about the downside and about the need to verify the results, and about need to keep this AI on the leash, if I can say so.
Right.
So so the tools that give you the opportunity to control the level of AI use are the best ones, in my opinion. For example, I can give you a specific example, the Perplexity tool. They have this slider, the autonomous kind of mode. So if you slide it to the most left side, it will use AI just for the small chunk of information, just a very specific and quick responses to your queries, which is kind of okay. If you slide it right to the other side, there will be a deep research involved, which will take minutes, which will engage different sort of capabilities, and which will very much depend on the quality of your prompt and the whole kind of process at the same time. And that's how you do this. If you see the feedback and if you don't like it, you are in charge. You pretty much control the level of autonomous behavior that you give AI, and this is how you do it. And maybe last one is, of course, there has to be upskilling and training for your people. So you need to implement something like a peer I don't know, inspired initiative for people to understand what's happening, like employee-led initiatives to be like responsible, capable human in the loop, and contribute their skills, their expertise, because this is what this all about.
Yeah,
so I think
easier said than done, though. Easier said than done, that last one. And I feel like sometimes with AI, it's definitely a topic where you get some staff that are very almost scared of it, and I think shying away from it, because it's that thing of like, is this thing one day going to take my job? And I think that's a serious threat and a serious thing that people think about. And I think in some industries we are seeing that at the moment, which I want to, if we get time later, I do want to specifically touch on that topic, maybe towards the end if we get a second. We actually have some questions from the crowd, which I would love to throw in just now, because obviously, we've got about 90 people in here, and I just want to make sure everyone's being heard and seen. And guys, if you do have questions, please do throw them out. We've got a system here where I can see them, and then I'll obviously ask them. But we've got a question from Sonia. Thank you, Sonia. she said that she's starting as a sole trader with relaxation and wellness services. She uses ChatGPT Plus for assistance. She's very new to it herself, and she doesn't have a website just yet. And she's kind of suggesting what you can suggest that she starts with, which I'll let you answer that first, and I can probably even answer that a little bit myself, just from a digital marketing point of view. But I'll let you take that one first.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping for. So, if like no offense meant, I would like to avoid mentioning the very specific tools because it's changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
So, you couldn't possibly believe. I can suggest something, and then tomorrow there will be something else which will be even more useful. But you are on the right track. ChatGPT Pro subscription is a great way to do certain research. I don't know, SWOT analysis, market analysis, understanding of the value proposition, business model. This is all inside. Then plenty of accounting questions, understanding financial documentation. So all things they teach you at the MBA course, you can pretty much receive feedback given your context, given your expectations, and that's the right tool to use. Then I think you mentioned that you haven't yet come to the point where you want to have put your website together, and that's a great way to tell the world about what you're doing, and you don't have to have this programming skills at the moment. There are multiple tools and studios that can help you build this from scratch without knowing of the computer programming. So it might be a bit, expensive, depends on the level that you need. However, there's a way to do it without engaging additional resources and someone with the specific knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, I think we're sharing some documents after the session that will probably have some links and some advice how exactly you can do certain things business-wise, marketing-wise. But then let me give it back to you now from the marketing perspective. Maybe
So I love seeing questions like this because obviously a little bit of background on me, Sonia, and anyone for related questions like this. My day-to-day job is a discovery manager here at Dial 8 Digital. So if you guys want to have a look at the Dial 8 website, see what we do. But I'll give away some quick tips here, more from the business side. I guess with all things website and marketing, my best tip is to be just try and look at exactly what you want to get out of the tools first. And Pavlo's kind of touched on that briefly. But just kind of look at what exactly do you want from what you're doing. From the marketing end, we always start with the buyer personas, right? With the marketing work that we do. So we look at who is your business trying to talk to and what do these people look like? And you can obviously, even just in ChatGPT, you can feed some of this information and say, this is my business, this is what I do, this is what some of the customers look like. Again, look at the data you can give it as much data as possible and say, this is who I'm trying to talk to. Or in your instance, Sonia, I'm trying to build a website. What are some of the tips you can give me? And just ask it for ideas. And then usually that will spin you up. It will just give you some ideas on what you should be doing next. So I think that's step one. Step two, for all of the, I guess, smaller businesses out here, this is kind of not really related to AI, but just something I do a lot in my day-to-day. It goes back to the point earlier I said about data integrity and the importance of data. I did a talk actually 3 years ago at the Australian Marketing Institute talking about the importance of first-party data, right? Now, first-party data is essentially people come to your business and they inquire with you. Providing that you've done all of the right things in letting them consent in and opt in, you essentially now own that data. And it's very important as a business, because you own that data, to store it really well, but also try and think of ways you can bucket these people, right? And what I mean by bucketing is segmenting, right? So Sonia, in your instance, if we just look at a relaxation and wellness, center, you may have people of different buyer personas. Let's call one of them Harry. Harry is a 30-year-old male, and for whatever reason, he is in this specific market. He has different challenges and, I guess, worries to someone who might be let's say, Crystal. Crystal is a 50-year-old woman who's also interested in what you have to offer. But again, she has different challenges and worries that, say, Harry has. And essentially, you just want to find a way that you can bucket these people into those different service offerings and challenges. And then over time, you can send these people personalized messages. You can have a list of Harrys and you can say, I'm going to send them email marketing based on, knowing what these certain group or bucket of people need. Now, that is something that, why I harp on this all the time in the work that I do here for small businesses is because it's cheap. It's very free to have people in those bucketing systems. So start looking at, working with that data and putting it in a nice system where over time you can send them those very cheap, email marketing. It's very cost effective and it's a very easy way to get ahead. And then there also is ways, so you mentioned that you don't have a website yet. There's very cost effective ways that you can get a website built, but that's probably a chat for another day. Guys, if at all you have any questions and you want to reach out and talk to me at Dilate at any point in time for stuff like this, just go to the Dilate website, put in a booking and we can have a chat. But I think that's the most important part. First, start looking after your data really effectively and bucket people into segments where you can send these people messages over time. I hope that helps, Sonia. We've got so many questions, Pavlo. Thanks, guys. If you haven't, please ask them because we're here to help. We've got one from Kian or Kian. One second, sorry. We have a question from Kian saying that the business that he's about to buy only uses Xero and Excel. What is the best software or platform for managing comms, project mapping, business, financial, and HR analytics that also uses AI? First thing I'd say to that, just before I switch to you, Pavlo, is that there is a lot in that list that Kian has just mentioned. Managing comms, project mapping, business, financial, and HR analytics. Is there any tools from the top of your head that you can talk about that maybe do some of that well?
I don't know. Thinking of like accounting and finance, I can think of probably Wave, which is, I think it's
nice.
I think it's free. So it's basically a suite for accounting, invoicing, receipt scanning. So it allows small companies, startups manage finances, track expenses, generate reports without recurring fees, stuff like that.
Okay.
But then again, I believe that Google Workspace. Okay, Google Workspace subscription is expensive. However, it comes with such a suite, a number and set of different tools for pretty much running the whole company, like including like email server, including like document creation, data tracking, scheduling, and it's scalable. So of course, if you plan for growth, obviously, then it's like maybe the way to do this. Another one, I think, which is sort of productivity and collaboration. There is this tool, ClickUp. Also, like project management, some task tracking solutions without hefty price tag. I don't know, maybe those. So what was that? Wave for finance and accounting. ClickUp and Google Workspace for this productivity, project management, collaboration.
I think you touch on a good point that you mentioned before. So Kian, when you're looking at stuff like this, I think it also, like when you're looking at bringing in new tools, like here us at Dilate, we're a team of, just in the Perth office, there's 40 of us, right? So I think when you decide on a new tool, you have to also look at how am I going to get the staff to use it? Like, because another big thing is like, you can have the best tools in the world, but it has to be something that's easy to use for the staff. So I would maybe also, I'm not sure, you know, this business that you're buying, I'm not sure how big it is, how many staff members it has, but even just reaching out and asking the current staff members what they've had exposure to in their previous, you know, roles, asking people that have a similar business of similar size in the same industry, roughly what they use, maybe just doing a little bit of research. Because I think the last thing you want to do is just get a tool that you think works, cram it down the staff's, you know, vision and just say, use this. And then no one's using it properly. And then it goes back to kind of what we were saying before about data integrity. The best thing you have is the inputs and the people using it properly. So even if at this point in time for the business that size, Excel is the best thing you can be using, then maybe you stick with Excel. You know, I think you also have to worry about, like I said, getting the inputs right and make sure the staff are using it properly and you're not causing any friction. So I do hope that helps. I guess anything further to add on that, Pavlo?
Yeah, as I said before, it's all about people. So
Yeah.
there has to be some training involved. And one suggestion, if I may, so there has to be like clear understanding that we are in the loop. So generation of some output by the AI, and then verification of this output by a human. Now, it's in the best interest of the human to make this loop as short as possible, because if you give AI like a large prompt and it takes seconds to generate, then you are stuck with this tens of pages of text, which you need to verify, which takes time. And the longer it takes to verify, the worse the outcome becomes, as based on my experience, and this is something that I hear from colleagues as well. So the shorter chunks of information you feed into the system, the smaller the verification loop is, the more efficient results you will get. So think about it as well, regardless of the tool that you use. So break into pieces. Sometimes you can experiment, obviously, but like overall, that's the advice that I can give.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks for that. Next, we have Hannah. So Hannah is overwhelmed by the choices and just wants the basic setup for background processes. For context, she is a art therapist and counselor, and she hates admin and financial management. All of us do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess the basics. I think we kind of touched on this briefly with Kian in the previous answer, I think. I'm not sure if you have too much to add on this one, but I guess really, like, you know, take a bit of a survey of what's happening in the industry already. Look at what, if you have stuff, what they're comfortable using. And, you know, like we said, make sure you're managing the inputs quite well. And then from there, as the business grows and you get comfortable in a different software, you already have that data there. So you can move to everything. You know, I think the biggest thing is just the data management at the start and making sure you have something that, yes, my team is going to manage all their data in this way because they like this process. So I hope that helps, Hannah. Anything that you would add there, Pavlo, at all? Pretty similar to the last one, I think.
Yes, I think that's relevant. I don't know, Google Workspace. I mean, this is so straightforward. Maybe I'm a bit old school here, but that's what I use as well. So powered with the Gemini AI, it's so easy to do these pivot tables, to do the analytics.
Yeah.
And it's so clear. Like you have this very, as I said, like a very small loop. You just said, okay, this is the table. Put this here. Change this view to this one, do this view based on this and this, and this analytics, it just comes from like a natural conversation with Gemini, and you can see exactly step by step what's being done, and you are in control. Obviously, there is a subscription fee behind, but yeah, that's highly recommend.
Cool. Awesome. We have a question from Sam here. Is this you, Sam? Or, this is Sam, the organizer, Sam. We know Sam very well, of course. Sam is big boss and looks after us here in the everything we do with the Business Alumni Network. So Sam's asking, for someone who's short on time and wants to automate and streamline their workload, which chatbot plugin would you use or do you use already?
Okay. Streamline the chatbot. I feel like this is more about like a customer support, customer service. So we currently use Intercom.
Okay.
There are many other chatbots over there. Like we specifically like Intercom because of the flexible pricing, pay as you go, and the variety of features and very strong AI behind it. And we are a fintech company. So other than that, probably something like a chatbot, which you would like to be available to your users.
Yeah.
That's I'd stick with the Intercom for now. I'm pretty sure there are some others, maybe less expensive, but yeah.
I think the beauty of someone who's in this phase, and providing you have the time, for someone like Sam, just test and try a whole bunch of different tools and just have a look. And again, do your research. Knowledge is power, right? So have a look at what you think other people are using in the industry. Even sometimes asking GPT what it thinks. Have a look at some tools out there and let me know what you think. Knowledge is power. Yeah, go for it, Pavlo.
Just one more thing, because I think we might have asked for some clarification. So if it's about internal communication, then I'd highly recommend Slack. Like if you have the team like a 5, 7, 10 each people at least, then Slack is very efficient. Yeah, and you can.
Yeah, we use Slack here at Dialite as well.
You can invite customers to Slack as guests, so they don't need to pay for the subscription. And there's a whole bunch of AI tools in Slack, which like summarization and Slack search, like AI search, which will like bring it into like your context, meeting notes. So very, very highly recommended for like internal communication tool and engaging customers, like talking through issues together.
Awesome. All right, we've got about 3 or 4 more questions, guys. If you have questions, please add them in, like I said, but we're moving through them. So Marie is asking, can you please discuss ways to this is really good, maintain your own and your business privacy when using the various AI tools? I might just quickly jump on this one a little bit, I guess, from the marketing side, but I guess like it kind of, just from a data point of view, just making sure that everything in your business is, locked down as best as possible. I do know, and Pavlo, you probably go into more depth with this, but I do know that there's very good ways that you can lock down things really well in Google Workspace. Like you can make them pretty much airtight, and I don't think anything's ever like 1,000,000% safe, but you can make it as safe as possible. So I think just being very aware that, and a business should be doing this regardless of AI or not, just keeping your data stored in a very safe place where it's not likely to get, nobody can get in. And this is a serious thing. Like there's a lot of different companies out there that are getting hacked. You probably don't hear about it too much, but it's a very big problem. And I think the other side of that, again, from the marketing point of view, is making sure that you're using your data sensibly and making sure that you're letting people opt in. I mean, that's literally law, but making sure that people are opting in, and you're using it sensibly, and also just not spamming and annoying people. I think that's very important. But yeah, anything that you would add on that end, Pavlo?
So quickly, that obviously depends if you are just thinking of yourself and maybe your co-founders, or if you're thinking for the whole company of a number of people. So in the first case, I really like you to consider this different capabilities of the tools that you use to make your data secure. Like in case of Google Workspace, for example, you can have proper classification and labeling.
Yes.
So you can automatically assign tags to your documents, for example, confidential, strictly confidential, public, internal, and some other capabilities which are already available, which
Perfect.
will definitely make you more secure. Thinking about the company in general, as you grow and you have more people, it's about policy. So the least you could do is to establish like a responsible, acceptable AI use policy, where you will write down the way you approach the use of AI in the workplace.
Yes.
How do you assess the tools that you like people want to introduce into their workplace from the perspective of risk? So it's pretty much risk-based framework. And the best thing is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like you don't have to put this policy together by yourself. There are a number of good policies and guidelines by the government, state government, federal government. I'd highly recommend the website NAIC, National Artificial Intelligence Center.
Awesome.
Like for Australian-based companies, they have so many guidelines. They have so many people contributing, and you are not alone in this. It's kind of all in this together.
Yeah.
I couldn't recommend like a better resource specifically for Australia, which is free for the awareness, for upskilling, for understanding how to do these things.
I assume there would be ones that are worldwide too, for all our listeners in Singapore, maybe Dubai as well. Obviously, being Murdoch, we have those 3 campuses, but I imagine there would be those ones there. Yeah, Marie, sorry, that was, yes, that was, who are we talking to there? It was Marie. Thank you, Marie. Hope that helps. And yeah, I think you touched on a very good point there, Pavlo. Just very quickly, I missed a bit about, a lot of companies would already have policies on how they deal with their data. I think this question right here is, don't overcomplicate it. It's kind of similar to how you're already dealing with your data, but just having specific clauses where you're also telling people this is how we use AI, being very transparent, on the front foot with how we're doing it. But business has always had to kind of disclose certain things in terms and conditions. It's just adding in that next step of how we use AI.
Yeah, and sometimes, just very briefly, sometimes you just need to be aware of these settings. Like, for example, we use Grammarly, which is the tool for proper English writing and communication, because we have people from different cultures and languages in our team. So there is this flag, do not use my data for training.
Yes.
Just like that. And this is it. Sometimes it's tricky. Sometimes you need to go to the advanced settings, stuff like that. But
it's there.
You should just think about it. If you don't want the tool to use your data for training or for whatever reasons, just make sure you put this. Of course, if you pay for it. Sometimes it's just the way it is. If you use it for free.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Good to know. We've got. It's looking like we've got 2 more questions. Not sure if there's any more in the comments there, but we've got 2 more. We've got about 6 or 7 minutes, so I want to try and get through these both, Pavlo. If you guys have any more questions, obviously, we'll try and get through them, post them through. But Janet is asking, she's looking for an AI software for receiving orders to replace a normal spreadsheet. I'm currently using Xero accounting software. Thanks. I'll just quickly ask back quickly if you can ping us back in the chat, Janet. What do you like? Is it Shopify that you're using? Is it WordPress? Because I think it's also worth knowing like what your website is built in. But I guess Pavlo, AI software for receiving orders to replace a spreadsheet.
I think I've mentioned before this tool. I think it's Wave. Well, I need to double check, but I think the name of the tool is Wave. And,
Yeah.
and this is pretty much like it's a kind of suite for invoicing, accounting.
Perfect.
I assume receiving means invoicing.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think you can even do the receipt scanning and track expenses and some reporting capabilities.
Waveapps.com. Yeah, so someone just posted in the chat. Thank you for that. Okay, so cool. Yeah, so that one we've already briefly touched on. We have one final question. If anyone else wants to try and squeeze one in, please do so now. If you have any questions, go for it. So this is from Anon, which I assume means anonymous. But this is good because this is about governance, and governance is very important, and we're all bound by it. And this is specifically the Australian government, again, for our worldwide listeners here. So how do you deal with the Australian government and governance lack of regulation when it comes to customer service? When we operate our small business, we're asked to have a policy cycle that starts from the public sector, yet those organizations themselves are open to AI hacking. I think this one's probably a bit more up your realm, Pavlo. Let me know if it was a big question. Let me know if you want me to ask any more points of it again.
No, that's actually a very good question. And I think if you, so basically, let's start from the point is that we spoke about this superhuman capabilities that AI has and some flaws that it has. So obviously, it's susceptible to fraudulent actions. So there can be specifically targeted attacks, like prompt engineering attacks, prompt infection attacks that can lead to certain outcomes, not necessarily related to such things like scam, but reputational damages and stuff like that, false information, like fake information. It's already there. I mean, it is there, and you need to be like aware of that, definitely. So you may want to be very specific what you allow to be shared via AI for your customers. And that's exactly where you use these tools like maybe Intercom, chatbot, and some other powerful chatbots where you specifically bring in the context. And it's sort of like the augmentation of the basic capabilities of the tool with your with your context. So it's sort of retrieve augmented generation. So the tool has the knowledge sort of based on the training that it was done through, and then you introduce certain policies, certain documents, which will be scanned by the tool ad hoc as it will be responding to your questions. And then you set a threshold where if there is a doubt, let's say 80% doubt, there won't be an answer, and you will be redirected, the customer will be redirected to like a human. And if the threshold, like if that possibility of the wrong answer, like if the tool is confident the answer is correct or sort of aligned with what was asked and with the policies, and maybe based on the previous answers, then the answer will be provided. So I think this is how it works now. So at some point you limit these capabilities of the tools to avoid this problems. But then at the same side, the governance and everything we spoke before, like the policy, something probably to consider and to read these policies shared by the state governments or by the federal governments and how they approach it, in particular for the government organizations. And last but not least, like one last thing, I think with the AI, based on going back to the big picture, so it's a very new and I think unprecedented case when the new technology, transformative technology, like internet, like GPS, like other things are in the hands of people from day one. Like ChatGPT was released to billions of people almost instantly. So it's not just in the hands of the corporation or governments. You can just start, because it's all software. You can start working with this, and there's a responsibility which comes with this power. So you have to be mindful, and you have to understand that you've been given great power, and you should use it responsibly.
I think Spot on. I think there's, like with the work we do here at Dilate, there's a lot of industries where at the moment we're just kind of like playing it safe and saying we're not going to touch that industry just yet, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's probably a good idea to stay away from this specific industry. Obviously, do your research, guys. What I can say, Australian government tend to be slow to move. Like even just on email marketing, they only really got serious with like spam laws like 3 to 4 years ago, and email marketing's been a thing for, almost decades now. So it's going to be slow moving. Keep up to date with the governance as best you can. And I think it's one of those things where, you do what you feel is the right thing to do, and look at, again, what you've been using data for previously. And I guess if you're doing anything, and this is, data, digital marketing, anything, if you're doing something that feels and looks spammy, it's probably bad. Like do things that are in the best interest of yourself and the customers, but obviously use the tools that are there in the right way. But look, I believe that is all the questions we had. So, and we're almost at time. I think we're at time now as well. So wanted to say a huge thanks to everyone. And I wanted to touch on two things again really quickly. So first thing, obviously, we have a lot of alumni in this call and a lot of Murdoch alums. Guys, if you're interested in joining the Alumni Business Network, please reach out to either of us on LinkedIn, because we're looking for more members, be it just here in Perth that we can talk to physically, but also if you want to, if you're global, worldwide. We even spoke just before about doing something between Dubai and Singapore. Come join us, come chat with us on LinkedIn. You'll see all the stuff we're doing. And also, any small business owners in here that just want to have a chat with me, myself, or with Pavlo, I guess from the digital marketing point of view, me and my day-to-day, as I said, I am a discovery manager. So my job is literally helping business owners navigate their way through digital marketing and AI and stuff like that. So if you want to have a chat with me, no obligation chat, just have a look at the Dilate website, put in your details, and I'll reach out to you and have a chat with you. And obviously, Pavlo, I'm sure you're willing to speak to people as well. Obviously, as I think the keyword you used a second ago was unprecedented, right? Like we are in unprecedented times and knowledge is power. Like use all the knowledge you have, reach out and try and build a community that want to work together and get through this time. And we're all just trying to help each other out. Any, I guess, closing comments that you have, Pavlo? Famous last words.
I just wanted to thank Chris, Sam, and everyone for this wonderful session. I miss Perth a lot, honestly. So I hope we will be able at some point to do this again in person. And exciting times, unprecedented times. Like everyone is a software programmer. All of a sudden, not only tech giants or governments have this powers of AI, which comes with plenty of opportunities and obviously responsibility. So think wisely, and I wish everyone well and success in their endeavors. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Pavlo. Thank you, alums. Thank you for everyone that's joined. We will see you on the next webinar, which I believe is sometime next month, October. Yeah, awesome. Ciao, guys.